To Inner Lens podcast where we talk about real orientated stories. So namhlanje I'm gonna be talking mostly about myself, and Leander is gonna be there as a friend. So I think this is a fair and a good time to talk about this story. I know I never really talked about the real reason why I started thinking about a mental health podcast, why I wanted to talk about a mental health podcast. But today I think doing this with Leander, it's one of the best choices I've made, because Leander has been there for everything. For most of my struggles, he's been there. So I think he knows me better than most people. So, I'm going to let him introduce himself, and he's going to be... I'm going to be interviewing him, he's going to be interviewing me. It's a bit complicated, but you'll get it.
Let's say we are having a conversation.
Yeah, instead of the interview, we're just having a conversation. Just a conversation as good friends who go way back. I'm sure. Just introduce yourself before we move on.
Yeah. Njengoba ngamthandeka ubhebhe ngamthandeka lo Luyanda Mhlongo njengoba seshilo mfowethu la, we will be talking about impilo yakhe mostly, yebo, na khona ama parts phela zonginvolve nami, but ke sozo ezisiqhubeka ne podcast, right?
Yeah.
Asiqala. 2021 to be.
Yeah, to be specific and exact. 2021.
First year out of school.
Yeah, 2021. 2021 was one of the most hectic years ever.
It started soon before we got here. Was it 2020?
2020, grade 12.
When your grand passed away.
2020, December. My guardian, my grandmother, who I was living with while I was doing my high school.
Yes.
I was living with, it was him and my two brothers and my auntie, and it was a 4-family household.
Yeah, not too many.
Yeah, we were just 4. Oh, and my brother's kids, and but it was just a 4-family household. So we were living together.
I wouldn't mention them because they don't do dishes.
So 2020 I lost my grandmother.
Yeah.
And then 2021 I had to go to varsity. I went to varsity, and when I go to varsity, I had some struggles with funding. I couldn't get in as fast because of some complications during my application. I didn't even understand what was going on with my application, but they told me I should upload some documents. My process ended up taking much longer to be processed
Than expected.
Yeah, than expected. So I had to start the school year without funding. It was hectic.
The whole semester.
Yeah, in fact, the whole semester. Yeah, the whole semester. I started, I went to varsity. The first time I went to varsity, I was going alone. Oh, my uncle. So I had an uncle who was working around the varsity. So when I went to varsity, he helped me to register, introduced me to some people, and I met some EFF people, the political guys.
They were very helpful.
Yeah, they're very helpful. And shout out to those guys. Shout out to the political parties that stand at the main gate during the year. During the registration.
Yes, you are right if you say during the year.
During the year, because they're always there. They're always there. When you need them, they're there.
Yeah. When
you need favors, when you need help with whatever, you're gonna find them. Shout out to the political guys. I was friends with the EFF political guys, so I'm gonna give a big shout out to the EFF SC political guys. They were good friends to me. They helped me a lot to navigate through varsity. They did so much for me, so much. and there was a guy called Towelan Buto.
I was scared of that man. When I learned that he could eliminate me, I just, I didn't want anything to do with him.
When you say eliminate, it doesn't mean eliminate.
Like kill, deregister me from the varsity without my knowledge.
He couldn't do that.
But I had that idea. I don't know what was wrong.
Okay, let me explain. So Mbuto was doing computer science honors during 2021. So, man, us as first years didn't know anything about computer science. So we thought the computer science guys are magicians. They can do anything. So it happens that I'm in an environment where I'm friends with a guy who does computer science. So now some of my friends were scared of him because they think he could deregister them from the university, of which it was not likely to happen. Yeah, and he's one of the good guys.
Not likely. Okay.
It was never going to happen. He was a good guy.
Okay.
And that guy rescued me.
From a lot.
Yeah.
Father, he groomed you.
Exactly.
Fathered you.
Yeah, he was a big brother. So when I went to varsity, I found a big brother.
Because you even stayed.
I even stayed with him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna explain that story. So how did I end up staying with him? So when we got to varsity, first day, we learned that most of the people we went to school with are also at the same institution.
Yeah.
Excuse me. It was six of us.
It was not 6 of us. It was men. It's just that we weren't close with the others.
Yeah, so the guys
living very far away.
Yeah, the
outside
guys.
The school.
There were 6 guys.
Abo Madlamini, Abo Marshals.
Oh yeah.
Because we acknowledge you by la payana.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I remember.
Yeah. But first year it was 6 of us. It was 6.
It was 6 years.
7 actually. 'Cause
7 by who?
Oh, 5.
Okay, it was me.
The rooms.
Okay. It was 5, 6, 7. Yes, it was 7 of us. Cambodia, remember?
Oh, yeah. It was 7 of us. So when we first went to varsity, there were 7 of us. And 6 of us had funding. 6.
I didn't have funding at the beginning of the year, remember? Then I cut my funding in June.
But you were staying at Res.
I was staying at Res, but I didn't receive any allowance. My uncle paid for the first semester. That's why I was having problems to claim.
I never understood that part.
I didn't understand.
I never knew even that part.
My uncle paid for my first semester.
What I remember is you had funding because you were staying at Res, but you didn't get your allowances in time.
No, you see, I applied for NSFAS and Funza at the same time. They waited for Funza to answer first.
Oh.
So that when NSFAS, okay, Funza is not replying, so I got funding. While same month, it was end of May. End of May, I got my first allowance. Of NSFAS. I didn't get the book allowance because I got the laptop, but I don't even know the name.
Oh, yeah, the laptop. I remember. I think all of us got the laptop.
First time receiving first allowance, 5 days later, boom, 6,000 in my account. What the fuck is mistake? And I didn't believe because I was high. Then they told me, Leon. I said, Lunga coin withdraw 400 rand. Lunga came back with 400 rand. Then I went, boom, and withdraw 2,000 to see. Then okay. When I came back, I slept with the money on my chest. Not there. I was in a dream. When I wake up, I got money. Then they told me the whole process. Now I went to admin, and they told me, no, it's your money. It's not a mistake because I didn't want to look like that billionaire girl.
I remember that story.
So, yeah, it was like that. Yeah, you can continue.
Oh, okay. I never really understood that part. Yeah. So
I paid for my rest. which was hard because
Yeah, it was hard. So when I first got there, and I didn't have a place to stay, I didn't have money, I didn't have support.
Any support.
Like any support.
And 0%.
Yeah, 0%.
You were just wandering in
yeah, I was just wandering.
walking alone in the gates of hell.
I didn't have any support, so I was there and
had to figure everything yourself.
Yeah, I had to figure everything myself, and it was hectic. Like,
I
trust
think
me, it was hectic.
That's the most scaring phase of life.
Yeah,
where you have to be alone, because you see about university when you have no money. I'm not saying when you have money like from parents. When you have no funding to be exam, you feel ashamed of yourself.
Yeah, I think that's the first thing that
you have that feelings of inferiority. If am I correct?
Yeah.
Because you're even scared to talk to girls, you see, to socialize, because you're gonna socialize that girl. And it's okay, please see me at Vuno by 8.
Exactly.
If you say that's Vuno,
you can't even buy drinks for yourself, or you can't even buy
18 rand, you small pair come fried 18 rand, and you'll be like, yo, and some parts gonna make phone like, okay, she wants to call her family so that she can ask for money. And when I have to step in, wait, 5 rand at a time, I can't afford. Like, what kind of, you are starting questioning yourself, what kind of man I'm going to be, or what kind of man am I becoming? You see now, now you're starting dating those ugly girls.
Because you have to. But I didn't go through the process of dating ugly girls.
Can I tell you the reason?
What?
Because you were not exposed to that environment, whereby, because Nazi, we still had that pride. We still had nyana pride, nyana. Because we had Lunga, not that because Lunga had that effect on us, like buy things for us, which was good for the. Yeah. Okay, going to the main topic.
Yeah.
How did you felt? Because I remember, you still remember that we were going after those 2 girls. It was before it was during the orientation.
Okay. Wait.
Let's
moving
not go
too
there.
fast, my friend.
Okay, let's not go
wait.
There. Okay.
So before that, so the first thing was, how am I gonna survive? And you see, surviving by people was one of the scariest. To ask from people was one of the scariest things. So not
that you are scared. It's because you are a man. You have ego.
Yeah, I have to be a man up. So I started living with my friends because they were living in the same residence. 6 of them, except for one guy. 5.
2 guys.
2.
Remember, Unoba was living at Titi, Mina, Umazi, Ulunga, Ulungelo. We were living at PP. And suddenly lived at Block H or I.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
So it was.
Mashaz was living at M.
Yeah.
Block M.
So the guys I was close with, it was Luyanda, Mazwi, and Lunga. Lunga, we were really, really close.
We were close. You were always fighting. God.
Yeah, we were like siblings. We were always fighting, even in high school.
At first, I remember in grade 10, I thought it was just no, because Ulunga. Then when it got to varsity, these guys are still at that thing, fighting.
But it was a healthy relationship. We were just siblings, not like fights. Gonna hate each other or something like that. No. It was just a healthy fight, the sibling fight. But it was not that deep. And I lived with them for a month, I think. For a month.
Is it a month? Yeah, a month.
A month or 3 weeks.
No, it was a month. Maybe 2 days, 3 days, 4.
Yeah, it was a month.
It was a month, yeah.
So in that month, living with the guys, I didn't have money to pay for groceries. I didn't have money to pay for anything, so I had to leave. I had to eat what they eat, and
But
drink what they drink.
We were eating rugby.
Yeah, Pilla. Again, so it didn't matter that
You
much.
had to don't forget the part where you had to adapt, whereby you have to eat like.
Okay, I am a very, very complex human being.
Very relaxed.
Yeah, I'm relaxed. Yeah, I'm not sure how to explain myself, but I just know that I'm a bit different. So we had to eat from the same dish. Yeah, from the same dish.
You see that big bowl we use to wash dishes at home. That's our plate.
Yeah, so we had that bowl. We had that one big bowl that we used to pour all the food, and we had to eat together because there were too many of us. We couldn't reserve plates for one person, two, three, because we were so many. We were seven guys, so we couldn't cook that much food. So we had to cook that food that we cooked, and then we mix together, and then we eat. And I was horrible.
You are not good at eating with people. Even now. Even now, you are still that person.
Yeah, I didn't know how to eat with people like that. I didn't know how to. I know how to share, but I didn't know how to eat from the same dish because I was slow and I have to think and I get distracted from time to time.
And lose appetite while you're eating.
Exactly. So I get those things, those moods every time when I'm eating. So many things that gets into my way when I'm eating. So I have to take time to eat.
And sometimes when we dish up on different plates, we were like, okay, me now longer. Then Udlamini will always eat half. Then it's chow. Then the next thing we'll be like, going, let's check for girls while it's finished. Then we had to go.
Yeah, so I couldn't eat that much.
Always on the move.
I couldn't eat, and at that time I had to learn how to eat fast because if I eat slow, I'm not gonna eat. I'm gonna sleep with empty stomach. So I had to eat very fast, and I tried to adjust, but it just wasn't in my DNA. But the guys finally understood, and then I stopped eating like that, and they would reserve a plate for me, and they would eat together. It was creepy, and it's still weird that I did that. But it's just it's just who I am. I think I know now, but I'm gonna get to that later. I think I know. And then on the experience, I struggle with depression. That's where I started struggling with depression. Okay, that's where I started struggling with depression. I think my depression started hitting peaks because I lived with the guys, but I couldn't live with them. Yeah. They were my friends, but I couldn't. I struggled to connect with myself sometimes, and now coming from the same neighborhood. But the three other guys, they didn't come from this. I didn't even know them that much at that time.
Like, you're not used to them.
Yeah, I'm not used to them. I'm not used to talking to them, and I am a very bad human being at socializing. I am not a good socializer sometimes. So I had to connect with them. While I am trying to connect with them, I'm also struggling with
finding yourself.
I'm struggling with connecting with myself. I am really, really struggling with connecting with myself. I just couldn't even know how to make a good conversation because I couldn't connect with myself. I was struggling with some deep anxiety because I didn't have anything. At that time, I didn't even have blankets to sleep. I didn't even have that much clothes. I had nothing. Literally nothing.
Zero.
I had nothing. I didn't even have clothes. Yeah, that was worse. I didn't have bedding. I had nothing. Nothing. But
you survived.
So I couldn't connect with the guy. So the relationship wasn't that good, so I couldn't leave with them. I had to find a place to stay. I had to find a way to make a living for myself to cope at varsity. So I met these guys Mbuto and Gaddafi, Tamsang and Tobelan Mbuto, and they rescued me. They rescued me. Yeah, they were strangers who were older and who understand better the environment of varsity and the struggles of being a varsity student.
Yeah.
So they understood better that as a varsity student, sometimes you're gonna go through hard times, like hard times. So they understood everything. So they were like brothers to me. They created that safe space, that safe moment, that safe zone for me. They shielded me from so many things. So when I'm with them, they'll talk to me, understand me even before I tell them what's going on, because they can see, because I didn't have like proper clothes. And yeah, they understood me and they became good friends. I started spending time with them and they started helping me. And then I told them about my situation, that I'm living with some folks, or I kind of like from the same neighborhood with them, but it's not a good environment because I'm not used to the guys, and now they feel like I'm kind of using them, and I was using them because I didn't have anything. So I was kind of like relying on friends so much for everything, for literally everything, and they couldn't support me like that. I was not their responsibility, so they should never even feel like I am trying to be their responsibility. So I had to find my own way, and yeah. So these guys, they took me in. They first found me a place to stay. I stayed with Gaddafi for some time. Like we share the same room. I found some blankets. He provided me with blankets and things to sleep, and yeah, we shared the room. And then we lived like that for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and even themselves, they didn't have funding. They didn't have any income at that time, but they were a bit older. They were doing their postgraduate studies, so they kind of know all the dynamics around varsity. They know how to make a living. So they were tutoring at this high school. It was upgrading school. So they were tutoring grade 12s, and they made a living by that. So they were like making money, making 1,500. So in making that 1,500, there were 3 of us who had to survive off that 1.5, and they also had their side responsibilities. But yeah, we managed, and they took me in and they protected me, and yeah, I felt the warmth of brotherhood, and I survived with them, became friends with them, I studied with them, and yeah, they showed me how to study, and I basically managed because they taught me so many things, and I managed. I passed my grades. I finally got the funding, and so my life was good for a moment. I found the funding. I took the responsibilities and did everything, and then I survived. Had my own place. Basically, I survived. I was able to stand on my ground, on my feet. And yeah, so I thought, yeah, that was the last part of the worst situation, or the last part of the worst varsity experience. But
No.
the storm is coming.
Okay, now I was thinking, okay, now during the suffering and stuff, you see all that being emotionally overwhelmed, depression, not understanding who you are during that process. You see, what was that one thing you were telling yourself? And after you survived, You see, after now, okay, the bad days are gone, the good days are coming, or they are happening. What was the thing you were telling yourself during those good days, and what was the thing you were telling yourself during the bad days?
Wow, that's a good question.
Change the perspective you had during the bad days after the good days, or it's just remain constant?
I think what really happened is
Because
during my bad days,
understanding your situation, I realized that as a human being, there are times where you told yourself that, okay, fuck that one, fuck that. You see,
oh yeah,
not. I'm not saying that you said
yeah,
it.
like hating on
Yeah,
people
like
and
starting
everything like
hating
that.
after suffering and stuff.
Oh,
Because
okay, now okay.
no one, you didn't blame anyone for anything,
Yeah.
but
Like
you had
deep down, like
those
I had.
inner thoughts. Because,
So I think with me, as the kind of person I am, I don't tend to blame people a lot. I tend to blame myself more than blaming other people. So first, having to leave my friends, I was a bit angry.
Yeah.
But not angry at them that they can't help me, but like
Angry
at myself. Why can't everyone help me? Because I have a family. I have a very big family, and I have a very, very big family, and that's one of the things that made it so hard for people to like support me, because they like, but you have your family, so why don't you ask them? But my family went there, so I couldn't ask from them.
You're also confused.
So I was like kind of angry at the situation I was at the position I was at, that why does it have to be so complicated? Because I think at this time, like, everyone should be celebrating me. I did something great. I went to varsity. I passed my high school. Like, I had so many questions. Why? But I didn't really, like, hate on people. Instead, like, I questioned myself, like, what the hell is wrong with me? And I spent so much time, like, getting so fixated in that, what's wrong with me. And when I lived with Tobelani and Tamsang, I just came to peace with myself. I didn't find any solution or any answers to the questions I had, like, why is this even happening?
You just made peace.
I just made peace with myself at that time. And not knowing that it's their last year at varsity, they're going to leave for work and be all over the world. So again, I had to leave by my own, because now, okay, I started celebrating that, oh, okay, now I'm finally stable, I have everything, I have friends, and what's or not. I didn't have to stress about anything. And then the reality of the situation is they left that year. That year I know they were gonna leave, and I had a single room. Yeah, I had a single room, and I had to stay by myself at that single room. I had to do things for myself, and yeah, they were still friends. I go hang out with them every day and all day, but at the end of the day, I have to go to my room and like be there with myself and stay there. That's my room now. I have my room. I have my things, and I started struggling with depression. I had like sick depression, living in that room alone. I started withdrawing from going out. I started staying by myself in that room. I locked myself up in that room for days. So sometimes you'll call me like, "Wait, where are you? What's wrong?" But I'll be like, "I'm fine. I'm just busy with some schoolwork," knowing exactly that I'm going through the most. The questions, the inner thoughts, the guilt, the critique, it all went back. I started criticizing myself, like, oh, what's wrong with me, and all those things. And I was by myself, so I had all the time to like reflect and think and think and think and think and think, and I got sucked into my depression, and my anxiety started kicking in. Even this one time, I had like a sick panic attack. I thought I was dying. So I had this panic attack. So I locked myself up in a room for whole day, like stressed, thinking about myself, my worthy, and everything, and all those things a depressed person can go through. And yeah, I was thinking so hard whole day, and then during the night, I didn't even leave a room. That day, I didn't leave my room for anything. I was in my room for whole day. So I started feeling like I can't breathe. I couldn't breathe. Yeah, it was like there was something on my chest and I couldn't breathe. Luckily, I was on my phone, on WhatsApp. So I managed to write a text to Gaddafi. Then I think I'm sick, and he didn't. He tried to call. He tried to call when I didn't answer. He called Tobelan, and they rushed to my room. There were so many people. I heard the footstep and people talking, and they were saying things that and that. They were talking. I didn't even know what was going on because I couldn't see anyone. I remember they came with their friends. When they explained it to me, they tell me, "Oh, was there and there." There were so many people, but I didn't even see no one. I was playing. Sobelani came there. He found me lying on the floor and struggling to breathe, and they called the school ambulance, and the school ambulance come and pick me up and take me to the hospital, and they clean up my room and make sure it was okay. And when I came back, I think I came back at night, midnight, and then I went to Sobelani's room and I stayed with them and made me food. Like they made me feel good. I make all these jokes, and it was nice, but I couldn't really tell them what was going on because I didn't even know how to tell. I didn't even know how to speak up, how to say I was not okay, I was going through this. Even themselves, they were confused what was going on, and the stigma within the guys, we can't talk about those deep conversation, or those true emotions, and be vulnerable with each other and say all those deep things. Couldn't talk about that, so they just brush it off, and days continued. And since from that day, my life started being one of the craziest lives ever. Started being crazy, depression, couldn't go away, and until it still comes and goes from time to time, but I try to manage. I think that was my first experience. I think I tried to answer your question to my best ability.
Yeah, I see. I think going back, what the teachers told us is the teachers told us that's life after matric. Not that it's going to be hard, like as if you are going to be working hard job, but they said that life after matric, you will be alone. They didn't hide that from us. You see, you remember. But I think you saw that.
Yeah, I firsthand. I experienced. I lived it.
You saw that. As much as we didn't both have funding, but seeing your situation was worse than mine. Because I had support from home. My mom was supporting me. My uncle was supporting me. You see, even my father was supporting me. You see, yeah, my father was there for me.
I never know what the word support means.
Yeah, that's why most people are amazed when I say I didn't have funding.
Yeah,
but I mean, new, because sometimes the person I would ask, let's say I need to see some girl, I was asked for money, I was going to ask Lamin because we slept in the same room. Shared the room, shared many memories, shared some moments, hard moments. Sometimes we were angry with each other, then we had to make it out back in primary. Because we had
to work it out.
Yeah, work it out, make it look good. Don't take out our anger to the other guys, you see. Now,
yeah, it was one of the most painful experiences I've ever had in my life. One of the most painful ones. Because I think being alone being isolated, it took the ability for me to be able to connect with people, to be vulnerable with people, to get to know people, just to know people, not to have a deep conversation, but just to talk, just to hang out and have fun and just not think and just be there. I think it took that ability because I felt so alone. I was so isolated from everyone. I was damn isolated, and I isolated myself. Reason being, to this day, I don't know. But what I know is I lost the ability to socialize. I struggle with socializing with people, man.
I think I lost my key.
Yeah, it was hectic. Yeah, so that's one of the big reasons why I started this podcast, to let people know it's okay to talk about themselves. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay not to be okay. It's okay to say you're not okay. Because I think that's one of the things I struggled with, to say that I'm not okay. So always I had to play the pretend card to be okay.
I think it's not difficult to say I'm not okay. You see, the difficult part, it's when the person asks you, why are you not okay? Now you have to speak. It's to speak about the things that make you...
Yeah, so the best way is to say I'm okay.
Angry or sad. Yeah. But they're not going to help it, but ask you, what is troubling you? Yeah, you have to...
Life is always not straight. It's not a linear, straight line. It's complicated. Ups
sometimes
and downs.
it's parabola.
Sometimes it's
hyper.
Sometimes it's cubic.
It's cubic.
Cubic.
It's a tangent. Arc.
Yeah, thank you. So